let's look at the frequently asked questions. All your questions answered, or so I hope. Question number 1. Isn't this taking a lot of time? I.e., is this another time-consuming process that will have to deal with on top of my day-to-day and all my already existing busy work? Yes. Setting goals is time-consuming. You have to invest time to learn to set goals and to set goals right. And you have to invest the time to make sure that you define those goals the best possible way. You define those key results in a way that's meaningful and that's actually measuring progress towards the goal. And in the early quarters, in the early days of that OKR learning curve that we're all going to go through, it's going to be even a bit more time consuming than it should normally be if you're completely accustomed to OKRs. So yes, it is an investment and it will take time. But think about the amount of time that we could waste as a team of 85 people if not everyone is aligned to the goals that really matter to the company. Think about this. If half of the company is not really clear on the big goals and the essential strategic things that the company wants to achieve, and start working on things half of their time on things that don't really matter to achieve those goals. So if half of the company work half of their time on things that don't matter and don't take us closer to our goal, the amount of time wasted is tremendously more than the time we will have to invest to define what is a good goal for this company and what is a good key result to make sure we've made progress towards that goal. So yes, it is time we have to invest, but it is probably time we're going to save if we do that right. A lot more. Like the benefit will be much, much bigger than the cost in time. Second question, should we aim for goals we can't reach? So it depends. It's really a question. You saw earlier that I mentioned that key results should be stretched and goals should be stretched. That is what is being advised, but that doesn't mean we absolutely have to. What I've seen a lot is that American are usually very comfortable with stretch goals and Europeans not so much. So we have to see if we are fine with this, if we're happy with this and that works for us. In some culture, not getting 100% of what we set as a goal is discouraging. It's not to me, but we have to be clear on that and we have to agree and acknowledge that. So we allow ourselves to aim high, but this is not something we have to. This is something we'll decide as we learn towards our own way of doing OKRs. Third question, do we really need this? Shouldn't we trust our guts? When we were 60 members back in 2012, um, we did trust our guts and it worked. You know, we got to 100,000 euros MR and that was just our guts, nothing else. And then we got to 15, 20, 25, and we started to get some goals and write down some things and be a little bit more explicit and organized on our goal setting. It was still not really good, but we stopped just doing things by gut feelings. And when we got 25 plus, you know, we starting to use small improvement and write goals in there, and especially Michael with the marketing team and the sales team started to implement quarterly goals and stuff. Now that we are 85 people, everything we've done in the past is nice, but it's not enough. We really have to up our game in terms of goal settings if we want to get to the next level where we want to go. I mean, that next level is not going to be achievable with gut feelings and no discipline and no organization. So, in order to write to make progress towards the right goals and the goals that motivate us, discipline and OKRs is the killer app. There's no other choice. So when are we going to be good at OKR? Because we're all excited now. We want to get into it and are wondering, is this going to be an overnight success? No, it's not going to be an overnight success. It's going to take time. This is a new discipline. This is a new topic for us. This is a new practice, and we have to exercise. We have to exercise that goal setting muscle of ours as an organization, and this will take some time. So, just so you know, it is uh, usual to see the first quarter, the OKRs of the first quarter to be a bit messy and chaotic, the second to be much better, and the third to be almost great. So let's give ourselves some time, at least 2 quarters to learn, and a third quarter to do them right. And just be aware that this is normal. It's not something you should be afraid of. Okay, when do we start? Well, we're starting this quarter. We're doing OKRs for Q2. We're not doing the old goal setting ways. We're going to start doing OKRs for this quarter. All our Q2 goals will be OKR based on what you've learned today. We're starting with the marketing team and the sales team, support, customer success, product and engineering. We'll start in Q3. That doesn't mean that support, customer success, product and engineering cannot try to start in Q2. If you guys want actually to experiment with OKRs in Q2, it's totally fine. It's just that you don't have to. You can, but it's not mandatory. For sales and marketing, we have to. So how do we start? So the marketing retreat that's happening next week, well, this week, depending on when you're listening to this, is a perfect place for this. Basically, the number one goal of that marketing retreat is to define our Q2 sales and marketing OKRs, goals, objectives, and key results. So most of what you're going to do with Michael next week will be based around that, building OKRs for Q2 as a team and a company. Will we use a tool for this? Well, probably, yes. As of right now, we're evaluating, looking at several tools, and it's quite complicated because they're all very different. They do a lot of different things, and we know it's not a choice we want to make quickly. But we don't need a tool to start. We can write OKRs in a Google Doc or a Google spreadsheet. I actually have a spreadsheet template that I'm going to share with Michael and Johan. So we don't need a tool to get started to train that goal setting muscle of ours, but there will be a tool coming. Okay, but what are the company's OKRs? So we know what to align with. Well, it's a great question. Bear with me. It's coming.